special place. Today we're going to be meeting Kelly and George Franklin and their daughter Mandy. Kelly and George work with young girls under the age of 18 who have been human trafficked. They are a very special part of our community and work throughout this province. Kelly Franklin has been working since 2007, working with young girls and boys who have been trafficked, and saw over years of the work that she has done the need for special counseling and special resources to help out. Today is a very special day because today we have Kelly and George and of course our special leader, Andrew Scheer. He will be joining us. He is just finishing his meeting up with Kelly as they discuss some of the hurdles and some of the barriers our young girls who have been challenged with being human trafficked, what they have to go through. For a number of years, Kelly has done not only the mentoring and training, but she has worked with young girls. She is the woman that you call in the middle of the night when a young girl has been trafficked. She works with police organizations throughout Canada, including the training for them to help them learn what to do when somebody has been trafficked, to make sure that we're helping these young victims and getting them through what is best. As I said, today I am honored here to be here with Bev Shipley, the member from Lambton, Kent Middlesex, and of course our leader and the next Prime Minister of Canada, the Honourable Andrew Scheer. Andrew? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karen. Thank you very much, Bev, for being here today, and thank you everyone. I want to especially thank Farmtown for the incredible work that you do, and I just had a great meeting with Kelly and with George talking about the impact that they're making on so many people's lives. And thank you to all the Canadians across the country who have made it your life's purpose to fight for the dignity of the most vulnerable. Last year, I had the opportunity to meet with Megan Walker of the London Abused Women's Shelter, and I was incredibly inspired by her and her team. Even more so, I was inspired by the strength and courage of the survivors who have overcome unspeakable horrors. Canada should be a country that puts survivors first and keeps traffickers off our streets. And I'm here to announce my plan to do just that. How much is a little girl worth? This was the haunting question asked by Rachel Den Hollander during the sentencing of serial child molester Larry Nassar. It was a plea to send a message to the world that every young girl's life impacted by his despicable crimes was worthy of justice. But while we pay attention to dramatic court cases and the most shocking news stories, a devastating reality too often gets ignored in our own cities and neighborhoods. How much is a little girl's life worth? We forget that this question is being asked every day in North America, and not by heroes like Rachel Den Hollander. No, it is asked literally by despicable human traffickers who profit every day from the sale of girls, boys, women, and men. Au Canada, la traite de personnes augmente de manière choquante. Littéralement, des personnes sont vendues des gens comme esclaves ici chez nous. Toronto police are even calling it an epidemic. Over the last 5 years, in Toronto alone, police have dealt with more than 1,000 cases of human trafficking. 1,000 sisters, daughters, brothers, and sons. More than a quarter of those being trafficked in Canada are under the age of 18 years old. And while only 4% of Canada's population is Indigenous, at least 50% of those who are trafficked are Indigenous Canadians. Ces statistiques sont terrifiantes et soulignent la nécessité de mesures immédiates. Nous ne devons pas oublier que ces statistiques ne sont pas de simples chiffres. Ce sont des gens, des vies humaines d'une valeur inestimable. Like the 16-year-old girl in Nova Scotia, lured by someone promising her a better life, only to be trafficked and sold for sex. The 17-year-old girl in Ajax, sold by the 47-year-old man she thought was her boyfriend. Or the 56 women and girls rescued just a little ways from here in London last year. Every single one of them is precious. Every single one a daughter deserving of protection, deserving of justice. That is why I am here today, to lay out my plan to end human trafficking in Canada, to send a message to those who exploit our most vulnerable, to make it clear beyond a shadow of a doubt that human trafficking is an evil scourge in our nation that must be stopped. Comme Premier ministre, je ne regarderai pas des survivants ou des survivantes dans les yeux pour leur dire qu'un procureur n'a pas pu prouver la culpabilité de leur agresseur à cause d'un échappatoire dans nos lois. We will update the criminal code to reflect the international definition of human trafficking in the Palermo Protocol. Doing this will make sure that we have among the toughest laws in the world so that prosecutors are able to secure convictions. I will also not tell a survivor that the horror inflicted on them doesn't count because their perpetrator is already serving time for having done it to someone else. We will amend our laws to ensure that human traffickers receive consecutive sentences for each and every one of their crimes, because every life harmed deserves recognition and every individual deserves justice. And I will end automatic bail for those charged with human trafficking, ensuring that if you are arrested for trafficking a human being, you will be kept off our streets, away from the survivors and potential victims whose safety and well-being should be our first priority. Cela se passe sous notre nez. Des victimes sont repérées dans des cours d'école, dans des centres commerciaux et à gros événements. Aucun endroit au pays n'est épargné par la traite de personnes. Because of this, we need a national plan to fight it. Now, the previous Conservative government created the National Action Plan to combat human trafficking. The current Liberal government inexplicitly cancelled it. As Prime Minister, I will bring it back and strengthen it. For the last 3.5 years, human traffickers have received the message that fighting their crimes is not a top priority. This must stop, and this will stop. En tant que Canadien, je suis révolté. En tant que père de 5 enfants, je suis dégoûté. Il peut être troublant de penser à ça, mais nous devons le faire pour pouvoir agir. But here's my commitment to you. A Conservative government under my leadership will ensure that prosecutors have the strongest laws behind them to keep human traffickers off our streets and away from survivors and those they seek to harm. We will make sure arrested human traffickers aren't released back into the public before their trials. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.